What up, guys? Mad Scientist 7890 here. This originally was going to be an in the lab video. Might do that later tonight, possibly. But with this, what I really wanted to talk about is the Brodus Clay debut. Now, basically, I get on YouTube about 45 minutes ago, and there's already people posting up reviews of Raw and this and that and different stuff, and talking about the debut of Brodus Clay and it totally being something different than what we were thinking, and blah blah blah, this blah 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 that. And the one video I come across that I really watched and paid attention to, freaking Yaya88 did a video kind of ranting on the Brodus Clay debut, and it was kind of like it was said it was terrible, it was horrible, and you know he doesn't know why WWE does this stuff, and like insulting our intelligence, and the gimmick was bad, and all this stuff. Well, this is going to be my video defending this gimmick and explaining why I don't think it's bad. I think it's great, and I think it's seeing it one time, it being one of the best gimmicks in all of the WWE. Now, I said in a comment to him that I said that if this were to happen, if this gimmick were to happen in Chikara, and you know, God forbid, I love Chikara. Chikara is one of my favorite promotions. That this would be major over. Everyone would love it. They would say it's great. You know, if Colt Cabana was doing this gimmick, it would be super over. Everyone would love it. Oh yeah, woo, it'd be great. But Brodus Clay, when he left, he had that hard ass gimmick that basically took, you know, his gimmick, what he had when he left, and gave it to Mark Henry. You know, having the Hall of Pain and the, you know, I'm gonna beat your ass type gimmick. Now, with this gimmick here, it's totally different. And here's the thing. You know, it is a combination of some different things. It is, you can definitely tell that, you know, there's some Dusty Rhodes in there, and there's, you know, some, you know, Flash Funk and Disco Inferno and stuff like that with this gimmick, this Funkasaurus Rex gimmick or whatever that, you know, it's called, that they gave him. But my point here I want to make on this is, how entertaining was this compared to every other big guy wrestler that they have? Let's be honest, if you add up every big guy wrestler that they have, and compared to this, you know, what Brodus Clay did here, I mean, he has more charisma than all of these guys combined. It's crazy to say that. Mark Henry, Big Show, Ezekiel Jackson, Mason Ryan, Jack Swagger. You take all these guys, and he has more charisma than all of these guys combined. He could say you know, the way he carries himself, he carried himself like Dusty Rhodes in that match. You know, he was having fun, and it was entertaining. The character was over. The crowd liked it. He squashed a guy, Kurt Hawkins, and then it was done. Nobody was expecting it. That's great. The one thing I wanted to make, you know, a point of is WWE is doing a good job right now of kind of breaking kayfabe with the audience. You know, with a lot of stuff that happened with CM Punk and cutting the shoot. You know, in the age that we are, the internet age, the information age, that, you know, a lot more wrestling fans are getting on the internet and you know, the YWC and IWC, and they know these things, you know, about guys before, you know, they're even wrestling in, you know, Raw. Everyone knows who Dean Ambrose is. Everyone knows who Seth Rollins is. Everyone knows who Antonio Cesaro is. These are all former indie guys that are great. That's why when they bring them in, they already have a fan base. That's why Punk and Daniel Bryan, these guys have fan bases, because everyone already knows. WWE is doing a good job here of really flipping the script on us. You know, really like, okay, thinking we're going to do one thing and doing another. And with this, I thought this was great, and I thought the gimmick was major over. The crowd liked it, and it was good. Here's the thing: getting your intelligence insulted, you know, is sometimes better than being bored. You know, I don't care if there's, you know, a character like Brodus Clay and he's wrestling and he has this gimmick. It works and it's good, and technically his gimmick got taken, you know, and he was into this. He liked it. He liked what he was doing. You could tell that he really cared about, you know, playing this role and getting over and definitely doing everything that he was doing. You know, next to a guy like, you know, like a Wade Barrett or these other guys like Ezekiel Jackson and Mason Ryan, who are just big dudes who don't have any gimmicks. They're boring as shit. They don't do anything. They don't have characters. Ezekiel Jackson and Mason Ryan can barely wrestle. Wade Barrett is okay, but his character is shit. Bar none. His character is garbage. I do not like it. The problem with WWE is, in my opinion, they haven't had good characters in forever. The last year, 2 years, tell me the best characters that they've created. There's two. I can think of two characters that they've created in the last... No. One character, possibly, unless the person came up with it completely themselves. The one other character I was talking about, person came up with himself. That's Zack Ryder. He came up with this character himself. The other character that was only any good that in the last 2 years that's been created, Cody Rhodes. That is it. None of these other characters that are being created or are being used are any good. They're boring as shit. Watching Brodus Clay in his match was the most entertaining, one of, if not the most entertaining thing on all of Raw, the most entertaining thing I've seen in wrestling in the last month and a half. That's being dead honest. In being in the ring, being entertained, being the whole thing as a whole, I don't see how you say it was horrible. I don't really see how people can say that, it was this and it was that. Now, I've seen other people saying out there that we're being trolled and you're like, oh, well, this is what happened. They're breaking kayfabe and they're really trying to mess with the fans and internet fans, to be specific, because, like I said, it is an information age. You can go on, the internet and find out stuff right away. I mean, right off the bat, I remember going on and reading that after the Chris Jericho stuff last week at a house show, he did some shit with David Otunga years ago, back in the late to mid 90s or whatever. You wouldn't know that shit. You wouldn't know that because obviously they didn't have the technology we do now. So everything is messing with people. Same thing with Jericho. He's messing with the fans and this and that, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I watched a video that 420 Goonie did about Chris Jericho and Brodus Clay, and I would completely agree that WWE's trolling us. The fact of the matter is, what Chris Jericho's doing and what Brodus Clay is doing is the most entertaining and enjoyable thing I've seen on Raws in a long time. This Raw that we just watched tonight, was one of the best Raws I've seen in the last 4 months. Bar none, they had some weird stuff with the Kane and Cena stuff, but the Brodus Clay stuff and the Jericho stuff is continuing, and it's keeping me entertained. That's me as a wrestling fan. I've been watching for damn near 15 years, being bored as shit for the last couple of years. There's no characters. There's no characters in wrestling. There's nothing for me to follow. That may just be me because I'm into shows like Dexter and like True Blood and Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead. I'm into these shows. They have interesting, intriguing characters, and I think characters in wrestling is really dead, nowadays. And I think what Brodus Clay did and what they did with him was a flip on the script. But it was so highly enjoyable to me that I think this is going to continue, and I think they're definitely going to do a lot of great things with him. Now, I talked to some other people that is this necessary to make Brodus Clay a joke wrestler, like a funny guy like Santino. From what I saw in the ring, he wasn't joking around like Santino joking around. Like, he went in there to wrestle, he was having fun, but I don't see it being like that. I think he's going to go in there and do the deed and get done. And he's going to, jump around and have fun, and he's going to be entertaining. That's the problem, like I said, with a lot of mainstream wrestling, particularly WWE, is their characters, they don't have any. They take these guys like a Mason Ryan and Ezekiel Jackson, they're just big guys, and they're like, we'll just put you on the card, we'll just put you on the show, and you're just going to be big guys. You're not going to have a character, you're not going to do anything. You're going to be Jack Swagger, you're going to be this American guy who's, let's just do exactly what we did with Kurt Angle. You're going to be, Wade Barrett, you're going to be this English guy, and you're going to just talk English, and you're not going to have any gimmick. You're just going to be an English. That shit's stupid. I'm sorry, but the older I've gotten as a wrestling fan, I personally want characters in wrestling. I want to be drawn in. The wrestling for WWE and TNA, the actual wrestling quality is not there anymore. I mean, Punk is having good matches with everybody on Raw. The pay-per-view matches aren't that great. I mean, just being completely honest. If I'm not going to get my great wrestling, I'm going to go elsewhere. I'm going to go to Puro. I'm going to go to ROH. I'm going to go to PWG, Indies. I'm going to watch that. But I still want to watch pro wrestling, the mainstream, and I want characters. If you're not going to give me my great wrestling matches, I can go elsewhere, but I want characters. If not, I can go to Chikara and get good characters. Like I said, this character would be major over, and I just wanted to defend this character. People saying this was crap, I wasn't expecting this is dumb. Would you want another guy like Brodus Clay to come in there and just be just like Mark Henry? I mean, what Mark Henry did was good. It's the best stuff he's done in his career. But that's another guy that's pretty much taking the same thing he was going to do. This is a complete flip on what they were going to do. Completely different. Like I said, you take all these guys, the Big Shows, the Mark Henrys, you put all their charisma together, and from what I saw in this match, not even compared to what Brodus Clay was doing out there. He was super into the match. He was playing the crowd. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed this character. I think this character is major over. It's definitely already one of the best characters in all of WWE, and he's only had one match. And they need to do more things like this. They need to do more characters like this. A lot of times in wrestling, they want to step more towards the believability. They want to have those guys like, the Dolph Zigglers and the, the guys who are just the flat out, realistic type guys instead of being characters. But it's boring. I'm not saying Dolph Ziggler's a boring, wrestler. I'm just saying, been there, done that. Been there, done that. Had guys like this. You're going into a different age of wrestling. If you have all these great guys who are great wrestlers, you're not going to let them wrestle and do, have great wrestling matches. I want my characters. Brodus Clay is the start of what I would consider the character age, because we have 3 characters in all of wrestling that are any good in WWE. Zack Ryder, Cody Rhodes, and Brodus Clay are the 3. I mean, I wouldn't even say CM Punk plays a character. He plays himself. Dan Bryan, he's not playing a character. He's playing heel. I mean, but I want characters. I want people to play roles. Wrestling Revolution. Jeff Catt's Wrestling Revolution is coming out here real soon. Some people are already shitting on it after hearing some of the names and the storylines and this and that. That's probably going to be the best wrestling of anything all year. Quality of matches, probably storylines and characters combined. It's going to blow WWE away. It's going to kill it. It's going to kill it storyline-wise. Just from reading it, and I can't wait to see that. That's my problem. You guys can suck it. YWC, you can suck it if you don't like the Brodus Clay stuff, because it was great. And I just think you're high on something, freaking out at 88, because I don't see where you're saying that it was horrible. I don't know what you want. I really don't know what you want from wrestling, honestly, if that wasn't entertaining to you. So I'm out of here. I'm the mad scientist, and support Brodus Clay. I mean, that was entertaining. The best big guy in their whole company already. I mean, maybe too early to say that, but I'm that, behind the whole idea of it. And, I think it's going to be great. Unless, for some reason they come back and be like, next week, haha, we screwed you. He's not really going to be this character. Then it'd be even more genius. But I don't believe that. So, thumbs up, Brodus Clay. Thumbs down. And you can suck it if you don't like it. So, peace.